Hello, 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 everybody. We are back for round two of Asking for a Friend. I am excited to be back doing a two for today. Um, Earlier this morning, we discussed the recap that I had for the event that the Ween Academy put on Monday, and I spoke to my Ween sis. Um, Mia and Tandia, sorry, losing my train of thought. And now we're going to have a conversation um, about followers. So I was having a conversation with my homegirl, and I'm excited to bring in a professional. But Darren is getting ready to join us. Hey, Darren, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I was discussing with my homegirl not too long ago Instagram and how to gain followers, and I noticed that you had a publication or a post about gaining a good amount, 200,000 followers in under a year, and so I want to know. Well, I'm sorry, she wants to know. Darren, how did you amass over 200,000 followers in under a year? Asking for a friend.
Okay. Well, the name of the platform that I created all of these followers with is called Urban's Vintage. It's in my bio, actually. Uh, so at the time, I mean, I went to Savannah State, um, and people, I was known throughout the campus just by posting a lot of things dealing with entertainment and things of that sort. And people would just respond so well. And so, because of that, I just thought it would be a good idea to create a blog, something that will remind people of like the old BET, where
Love
you
that.
have music videos, the 90s, early 2000s vibe. At the time, there was only one other nostalgic page, which was 90s era.
Okay.
Um, but when I came aboard, it just brought. It was just. It was incredible, honestly. The very first celebrity that followed me was John Singleton.
Wow.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
And so when that happened, I was like, okay, wow. And, I was just really consistent with the content I was posting. Um, and I just feel like people, especially our generation, I'm 28.
Okay.
So at that time, it was like 2016, and that was during the time when Instagram really was on the come up.
Yeah,
But at that time, I really feel like people just wanted something that just, took them back to how things used to be.
for sure.
And based on the fact that a lot of people missed BET's programming, I felt like it was my opportunity or duty to, bring something that would remind us of that, as well as introduce the new generation. So really, just being really passionate about that, being consistent, um, being authentic is the key to really standing out on social media.
That's a really
Um,
good point.
yeah, it's just like when an artist comes out, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's really gonna pay attention to them if they're not authentic. So that page, I really feel like it was just something new. And even now, like with all the nostalgic pages that's on Instagram, I don't want to be cocky, but I know I'm the trendsetter for
I
that.
was gonna say you started it. I have a question for you though. You said that one of the first celebrities to follow you was John Singleton. I wonder, were you tagging celebrities, or were you using certain hashtags? How did you get people outside of your college or your friend zone to see your posts?
So I forgot to mention this too, but I went to Savannah State for journalism. So I have a degree in that. So um, I was really professional with how I put everything together when it came to the captions, the hashtagging. But I always made it my duty to just tag everybody. You know, when the Shade Room posts something, you know, they post every single person they're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
really good with that. Research, you know, is really another key to social media, establishing that credibility. And I really
Hmm.
feel like that's what made not only him come aboard, but so many other people that came after that follow. Like just about everybody from Living Single started following me.
Wow.
Destiny's Child. You know, it just became a credible source. And that's really the key to really standing out or being successful on Instagram or social media.
So you found your niche market, you found your niche audience, and then you just sort of attacked that. So for someone who maybe is establishing their brand, what sort of tips would you give them?
So I really feel like it is important to. I understand everybody is anxious to get out there and be heard or seen. But before you do it, you gotta have a plan.
Mm,
You gotta do your research with whatever it is you're doing. Like if you want to do something dealing with catering, you need to go and do your research on the top caterers that's on Instagram, so you can see what they're doing. Just always being knowledgeable about what other people in your field is doing. In my case, when I came aboard with Urban's Advantage, like I told you, the only other nostalgic page there was the 90s page, but I also incorporated up to date news as well. So I
okay.
looked at pages and companies such as BET Entertainment Tonight, Vibe Magazine.
Yeah.
I went to those sources to help me, or guide me.
I think that's a cool way to put it. So to everyone wants to have, a million followers. Everyone wants to, um, I think, build a brand. And I think right now, since everyone is at home, I think we're seeing an increase. But I think one of the things that you said that stuck out to me was being authentic. Um, and a lot of times people are buying followers. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you brought that up. I think it's really stupid because like I'm just like it's people that got like 15,000 followers and you go on their pages and they're getting like 50, 60 likes. It just it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have like 600 followers and getting like 100 or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
For
It just
sure.
doesn't. It just makes you look stupid. I don't want
Yes.
to put it like that, but and then you know what I'm saying? Like people, they get it because it's like the engagement doesn't add up. So I just don't prefer people to do that. Now I will say this. Um, let's say like you're just starting out and you're at zero followers. Like Instagram, they're so strict these days. Like you can't even follow that many people or unfollow at once because they'll block you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I've
so
seen that.
I think starting out, like if you're at like zero followers or 100, it doesn't hurt to boost it just a little, but don't make that a habit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because you know original engagement is what's going to help you get to where you're trying to go on Instagram. That's what puts you on the explore page. That's another thing that really caused me to get my numbers up too, because all of my content was on the explore page.
Do you
um
hashtag Explorer page or is that not a thing?
well, in the beginning, no, I never did that. I remember vividly hashtagging like different cities, celebrities and
Mm,
stuff like that. But then I stopped after like the fourth month because I noticed the people just started coming in. Once you get on the explore page, like you're good to go. Once you
for
get on
sure.
there,
Right. And
yeah,
organic growth is important. Um, and I think the people who start with you like to see your trajectory anyhow. It is my goal to be able to swipe up. Like I cannot wait to swipe up. And I've thought about it a few times to purchase the followers just so that I can swipe up, but I don't even know the first way to do that. But anyhow, um,
Yeah,
uh,
they have you know, once again, research.
right.
But be careful about that because they do have some outlets where if you do buy the followers, they will hack your page. So you gotta
Ooh.
make sure it's coming from a source that is reliable. Yeah,
And
I'm gonna give y'all some
realistically,
tips. I'm gonna give y'all some tips. Okay, storm lights is something that you could go to, but if you, I don't, I'm not a fan of that. But I'm just saying, like, if you just want to boost it up just a tad bit, you know what I'm saying. But for me, I just don't prefer that at all. So yeah.
so some questions have come in. Um, so should your hash, how important are hashtags and um, how do you tailor your hashtags, right? So for instance, me, Ashley, the amateur expert, right? So I hashtag um podcast. I just pick things out of the air. But do you have a specific strategy? Should you do things that are outside of your scope to get like new people? What are your thoughts on hashtag strategy? Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, can you see me?
I can see you. Okay. It froze for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Hashtagging is fun. I honestly, so I've had a moment or moments where I just don't prefer that because hashtags kind of make you sometimes look less credible.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's fun to do that, but I'm not one that's really been big on hashtags. Because I just feel like, okay, say for instance, like you go to Vibe magazine, they don't have hashtags under their
Right.
posts. Or
Yep.
the shade room, they don't have hashtags either. Like I'm just thinking of when, and this is the key to really being successful on Instagram is just really kind of just pretending like you are where you want to be. Um,
Mm,
like just kind of seeing what everybody else is doing. Like, but when it comes to hashtags, I really just always research. You know, if I am gonna do it, what are the top hashtags for those posts? Um, and that's really it. I don't prefer it because you know I really can't speak too much about it because I'm not a fan of using hashtags, which is
that's
crazy
fair.
how I was able, yeah, which is crazy how I was able to get those numbers. But starting out, I do prefer it. Like I used cities, celebrities, Beyonce, like the top celebrities.
My
Um,
sister put in the chat that you don't see Beyonce using hashtags. Beyonce is her own beast, so she doesn't need to do
right.
any of the things. But yes, that is a good point.
Right,
Great
right.
point, sis.
Yeah, but of course she's like a goddess on social media. So, you know,
She's
she
got
got
it.
all yeah, and the beehive, you know, they're gonna go look, you know, and see what's being hashtagged about her. But Kim Kardashian, just the top people, you know, when it comes to entertainment, I'm saying. But when
Yeah.
it comes to other outlets, you know, whether it's fashion, I deal with a lot of credit agents. I just kind of just go and research the top hashtags for credit agents and just do it like that. Google.
Oh,
Um,
so you would say to tag as opposed to hashtagging.
um, it's a combination of both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, like whatever category you're in, if you're in food or credit, I suggest people to go on Google and research what are the top hashtags for that day. Um, if something is going on like the Grammys, or
Mm.
the Super Bowl. You know, of course, if you're on Instagram, you're gonna hashtag that too under those posts. Um, so always keep that in mind too. You know, if you're on Instagram when something huge is going on, it's like Twitter.
Yeah.
Um, how they have those how they have those hashtags. Yeah, like do it that way. You know, that's how I suggest people to do it. But once you get to a certain level on Instagram, like once I got to 10,000, I stopped hashtagging.
I mean, well, that makes
And
sense, sir.
yeah,
That makes sense. Us in
yeah.
the hundreds to, like, 1500s. We're trying to make our way to the 10.
Well,
Um,
even if you're in the thousands, you know, I think it's really at that point. Once you get to that mark, it's about being consistent.
okay.
You know, just constantly giving them, whatever it is that got you to that point, but evolving and also finding new ways to
That's a good
attract
point.
followers, as well as keep the ones that you have.
So, question, and this is a personal question because um on my feed I have like I don't know what it's called, but it's like a line. I don't, what is it called? When you post in a certain way so that you have like a theme, maybe. What are your thoughts on people who do that? So what are your thoughts about me in my feed? With people who, like, who, like, maybe they'll post photo promotion, or photo quote, or photo, like, you know what I mean, like, for the
Oh,
aesthetic of the page. What are your thoughts on that, or do you
you
think you should
mean
just free post?
you you mean like if they like they have their content set a certain way, like
Yes. Yep.
okay,
I'm trying to go up to my
so
page so I can show you. So I don't know if
okay,
this makes sense, but you see how every two posts I make sure I post something about my show, or I
oh yeah,
use.
yeah, I like that. But let me tell you too, like this is how I did just based on Urban's Vintage. I would have it where I would have like up to date news, music video, and then I'll have a throwback picture. But visually, which is how I operate, when I'm done posting, I just want it to look a certain way. Like I don't want it to be where it looks predictable.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like because then it'll get boring. You know, you want to always keep people on their toes.
Yep.
Um, and then whatever it is you're doing, just find new ways to get better at what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
Like content wise, just want to kind of format it in a way where, like you're doing that now, but eventually you find new ways to, you know, format the content.
Okay,
Um,
that's good.
yeah.
And, like, don't be afraid to rebrand. I guess I think I'm hearing you say that.
Yes, always evolve. Like Janet Jackson, she, is a legend. That woman she's been in the music scene for decades, but she evolved. And
Yeah.
that's why she stayed in the business. From Control to the Velvet Rope, she constantly
Ooh,
evolved. And that's
I
the
gotta play
key.
the Velvet Rope this weekend. That was good. Thank you for bringing that back
Yeah. Yeah.
to my
So
mind.
even Beyonce, she's not the same
Mm,
girl she was when she was in Destiny's Child.
for sure.
There's growth. Dangerously in Love, B Day. It was something different for every album,
Yep.
and that's the way you have to think when you're on social media. That keeps people attention and it keeps you going.
That's perfect. So I'm gonna ask one more question, maybe two, but for sure I want to ask, who this came into the chat box. Um, what, how do you remain consistent when you may lack motivation, during specific seasons?
You said how do you remain consistent through?
When you may lack motivation, during certain seasons.
Okay, yeah, I take breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of step back sometimes and find ways to just um, get back into the game. Like to really just find ways to just, for me, like, stay, just not give up. Like, for me, I'm spiritual. I pray a lot.
Amen.
Um, yeah, like, so that's really like my main source of motivation, as well as, you know, putting myself in a position where I'm realizing, like, you know what, nobody else is going to get me to where I'm trying to go in life but myself. I have to
So good.
remind myself about that. And then you also got to put yourself in a position too where you realize or have to understand that this is the only life you get. You
Mm,
know, once we leave, you're gone forever, not for weeks or months,
yeah.
forever. And you have to really remind yourself about that. And that fuels me because I don't want to live a life where if it's over, you get to actually look back at how it went and not be satisfied, you know.
I love that.
And this is one other thing too. Like someone was saying, like, what if when we leave, you know, it's almost like you are constantly replaying your life that you lived here.
You want to
Wow,
make sure
like,
it's good and
yeah,
give it your all for sure. For sure,
yes,
for sure.
that's how
Um,
that's yeah, that's how I do it.
so when you are on break, do you use, or even when you're not on break, do you use um like the applications or the applications I have like someone's grandmother, the apps that allow you to pre-plan, like um, Planoly or like do you have all of your Instagram or IG posts lined up for the month or a week and then use something to automatically post them on your behalf? Um, or do you post them yourself?
Yeah, I do my research. Just constantly going through Instagram and see what's going on, finding stuff. And then of course I come up with my own stuff. But because I'm in entertainment, it's not as predictable sometimes because something may happen that you have to post. Let's say
Yeah.
someone dies, you got to post that. Or
Yep.
so. Um, but yeah, I'm organized to where I have an idea of what at least needs to be posted. Yeah,
Perfect. And I know
yeah,
that you offer your services to folks like myself and others who are looking to gain followers and retain followers. So I would like for you to just, speak on that, let people know where they can find you and how they can find you and what you offer.
yeah. So my social media management business, I started that a year ago. I just felt like, you know, clearly I have a gift, so it's my duty to help others. But um, so right now I'm live from the actual business page. But yeah, so with that, it's really just helping people find ways, just giving them authentic formulas to help them grow. Like everything we're talking about right now, I'm finding ways to help people, you know, be authentic on social media. So the social media management with that, I'm helping people create marketing strategies,
Love that.
as well as find their target audiences and
Mm.
just constantly help them grow and evolve. But you can, as far as contacting me is concerned, you can contact me on Instagram. I also have a website up. Of course,
Perfect.
I'm still, you know, I'm adding or adjusting that. But yeah, you guys definitely are more than welcome to hit me up on Instagram. I'm always available. Um, but I'm real hard on anybody that I take on
Good to know.
because you know, this is serious. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that if you're gonna do it, just be ready and understand that you're definitely gonna get to where you're trying to be.
Perfect. And just one more time, just say your handle because some people will re-listen to this on the podcast. We'll have the information in the show notes, but just in case someone is taking notes while you're speaking, where can they find you and what's the name of your website?
Okay, so yeah, DC Social Management, that's my business profile. And then, of course, Urban's Vintage is the account that I created with 200,000 followers. That is in my bio. And there's also an Urban's Vintage playlist on Spotify that they made in tribute to the
Okay.
block. So if you guys want to check
Okay.
that out, it's dope. Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. You've given me a lot of information to take back from my homegirl. And I appreciate you being on the show and look forward to your continued success. And yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Perfect. I hope you have a great night, great weekend, and take care.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.